dripping, drip, drip. Came through dripping, drip, drip. Came through dripping, drip, drip. Diamonds on my wrist, they dripping, ice. Came through dripping, drip, drip. Came through dripping, drip, drip. Came through dripping, drip, drip. Diamonds on my wrist, they dripping, ice.
Came through dripping, drip, drip. Came through dripping, drip, drip. Came through dripping, drip, drip. Diamonds on my wrist, they dripping, ice. Came through dripping, drip, drip. Came through dripping, drip, drip. Came through dripping, drip, drip. Diamonds on my wrist, they dripping.
Give me a little something to remember.
All right, Drips. Here we are, episode 8. You've got the Drip Lord. You've got the Faucet back again for another fun-filled show. First, I'd like to thank Michael Geary for filling in for me last week.
Thanks for having me.
As a true Drip, it's important to get coverage for your PTO, Pat. So we certainly appreciate that.
Very true.
We'll get into that episode a little bit. I want to talk a little vacation stuff, some stories from Jamaica, if I may.
Sure.
Let's talk some Sunday scaries, some office chatter, and like we always do, we'll round it out with some good old KMS talk. So, without further ado, allow me to begin. I don't care how much work you pretended to get done on the plane just so the guy sitting next to you thinks you're important. I don't care if your work computer programs make you reset your password every 90, every 60, or even 30 days. This will still be the most boring part of your week. Pat, you did a show with Blind Mike. Again, thank you, Mike, for doing that. How do you think it went? I have a couple points after listening, a couple parts that I really enjoyed.
Be nice. I'm not a natural host, but no, that was great. It was super nice of Mike to come on and hang out for half an hour and shoot the shit. But no, I think he did us a huge favor. So
Definitely.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks for having me.
But John, I'll tell you something. I am freaking glad you're back. Being the guy that you're the guy behind the wheel. I'm in the booster seat in the back. Like it's different being on the other flip side of that coin.
I think you did good. Especially like you eased in too, and it seemed like you had your topic list going. And I don't know if I necessarily have them on the points that I want to bring up, but there were a couple things that he touched on, and I was like, that's such a good point. Like when he was talking about customer service, when you call a place and you have to go through the automated system, I was like, oh, that's something we should have talked about.
That hit home.
The airport stuff was good. So yeah,
I did have that one concern. I was like, maybe he's not like a Drip at heart. Maybe he's just gonna come on and laugh at me. But no, he was into it. I knew the Uber would hit. He's an Uber guy. I'm a former driver, like we know. So a home run appearance by Mike. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks for having me.
I loved I like how both of you guys said you went to the ER or the hospital because you thought you broke a bone, but in both situations that just wasn't the case. You're like, I shouldn't even be here right now.
Just sitting in the waiting room. Sitting in the waiting room, I'm like, oh, you are such a pussy. Like I told my
once
wife,
the pain goes away, and you're like, oh, this is not gonna be a good look.
I was contemplating an ambulance. Then I get there, I'm like, oh fuck, I go. But you gotta ham and egg it all the way in there. You gotta limp. Oh yeah. So yeah, same boat there.
I've never broken a bone.
Me neither. I've never been punched in the face.
I've been punched. I've definitely
never once. But like, I'm pretty annoying. Like I'm kind of mouthy. I never really stop. Like, you think somebody would have slugged me by now?
Looking at those pictures, I would have definitely thought that along the way somewhere something would have happened.
Yeah, I was wicked fast back in the day, so I could always run from the bullies. So I don't have that bag. I don't have that in my bag of tricks anymore. So we're screwed.
I also thought you guys were talking about the trampoline incident, but the fact that you brought up a trampoline and then you immediately went to, having a trampoline at your house, it really increases the home insurance policy. I was like, that was the perfect Drip like conversation to bring up right there. I was glad you went there.
It does. I swear to God. Like my dad's him and Montante speak the same language. Very conspiratorial, very heavy right wing. But I remember one day, like there was a car driving by our house slowly, and he's like, "That's it. Where we got to dig a hole." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Thought they were scoping out the trampoline.
He thought it was the home insurance guy coming by and be like, "Yep, they got a trampoline. Cut them off." But yeah,
after that, one guy drove by slowly, and that's it. He started digging a hole in the backyard.
That was it.
I absolutely love that. And then you touched on it, but the Uber talk hit so perfectly because it was a beautiful combination of, we know that Mike is an avid Uber user. You had a perfect parking Uber relationship story, which I knew you were going to, and he loved it. He was eating it up. So I thought those three things were great. The whole show was good. So thank you guys for doing that.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, John. Thank you. We missed you dearly, but thank you.
And that segues into obviously the reason I couldn't make it was the trip to Jamaica. Good trip, I think. Overall, as far as like a travel, that's what everyone asks. Like when you're traveling with kids, like, oh, how is the plane? How's the airport? Like obviously, you know, you wake the kids up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like that's going to be tough. You drag them to the airport. So that's not great. But overall, the plane ride went way better than expected. My oldest son got the window seat. He just looked out the window the whole time. And when he wasn't looking out the window, give him the tablet. You know, that's going to kill a couple hours right there. So that wasn't bad. The trip was amazing. But
how was your parking, by the way?
Parking at the airport.
Gotta reach out, John. You gotta reach out. Satellite hotel shuttle. Just
wanted, you know, me like people to know that you could have had the hookup there, or I could have had the hookup there. So
it's fair. It's fair. I appreciate that.
Trip great. Having two kids, it's a different experience. Obviously, like a ton of meltdowns, and then every single night you go out to one of the restaurants like on the resort. And my kids aren't great sitting at the restaurant. It's just boring for them. So me and my wife have to take turns basically eating. Like I eat and then she's walking around with my older son because he just wants to gallivant around, and then she comes back and we kind of switch back and forth. So definitely different experience. I've got 3 quick stories for you. I'll just kind of hit them in a bullet point. 1, my 10-month-old son pooped in one of the pools on the resort. They had to close the whole thing down for a day. We got a nice picture of the pool closed sign. It wasn't the main big pool. It was a smaller pool, and my mother-in-law stepped in it. That's how we found out that he pooped in the pool. And I had to talk to the guy who was cleaning it. Like I had to go report that my son pooped in it, and that was the worst.
I was just say, how do you have like, hey, kid shit in the pool? Sorry, clean it out. Or I have anxiety, so I might just be like, maybe it'll just go in the filter. Like that's probably scummy.
I know. Well, dude, you shouldn't have said that because people are on you about throwing that diaper out the window that one time.
This burrito is delicious, but it is filling. Anthony, clear Batman!
You shouldn't have said that because people are on you about throwing that diaper out the window that one time. So
that was the first thing that came to my head when I said that. No, I'm just a total poop scumbag. Damn it.
The worst part about it was this guy's name was Carlos, very nice gentleman. I bumped into him when we first got to the resort. He just like happened to be like kind of cleaning the pool when we got there, and I started talking to him. He's like, "Oh, what do you do?" Blah blah blah. So I'm like buoying this guy up. A couple days later, I have to go up to him, and he's like, "Hey man, how's it going? How's the trip?" He's like, "I had my day off yesterday. I was playing soccer with my buddies." I'm like, "Yeah, that's great. That's great. Listen,
Carlos, I gotta talk to you."
Yeah, there's poop in the pool. I have kids. It's a whole thing. So that was tough. And then
that's why you and I are friends. Like that's why we get along so well. Like I live for that shit. Like the guy's super friendly, probably a check-in, and you're like, "Now what do you do? What's your name?" Like, buddy, right there. That's a new friend.
Oh yeah. I was trying to tell him what I was like, "Oh, have you ever heard of sleep apnea? Have you ever heard of a CPAP device?" And I think they just sleep very well in Jamaica, or they don't sleep well at all because nobody heard of
baked.
That's true. Never mind. I won't besmirch his name, but that may have came up. And then the big one, 3-year-old rocking on a chair, fell off the chair, cracks his head open on the concrete, had to get 4 stitches. And the thing, like, so we didn't end up going to a hospital. They asked if he wanted to go to the hospital. Yeah, he did everything. Right when he was done picking it up, the poop from the net, I was like, "Buddy, I got something else for you."
He's got to clean his hands.
But they did a good job, but it's still like there's something about being in like a little dingy nurse's station at a resort where in the back of your mind you're like, okay, like is he getting the best possible treatment here? Like nothing against the doctor, would seem like a lovely guy, but I'm still sitting here in like this kind of musty room with just like stuff everywhere, and they're putting needles in my kid's head. They're like, "Oh," and they go, "We have to shave part of his head to see the cut." he whips out just like this, like just a razor, man. And he's going like this. My son's already screaming, crying. I'm pretty sure he's nicking him a couple times, so he's screaming louder. So it was a whole.
Where is it on the head?
It's like right here on the side, like back
That'll
side.
be badass. That'll be badass for chicks one day.
I think so. And after he got over kind of the whole experience, he was fine. Me and him, nice clean dapped it up, told him he was fine. He went along with his day. So
the kid or the doctor?
The kid, my son.
Oh, what a trooper.
Yeah, he's the man.
I'd be crying like a baby. I'd still be milking that shit.
I couldn't even look. Like, I was holding on to him and they're putting the stitches in. I was looking away. I was like, you got this, buddy. You got this, buddy. And just closing my eyes because I couldn't look at it.
Fuck that. I leave the room during like Grey's Anatomy, even though it's fake blood. It still doesn't work. No go.
Yeah, want to talk about why we're good friends? I can't do it either. I will not watch. I haven't seen any of we might have talked about this before, but any of the Saw movies or anything. Like, I just don't do blood at all. I can't handle it.
No way. No joy in that.
I will say though, both times with both my kids during the delivery process, I was looking away, and then something maybe I peered in both times, dude. I wish I didn't, but I did.
No, my mother-in-law was in there with us during the delivery, and I don't know. Hopefully she's not listening, but I don't know what the fuck's wrong with her. Because she's like, "Come here, you got to see this. Come to take a look. It's magical." I'm like, "Absolutely."
Yeah, I don't know how magical is. Like, people say that.
Once you see how the food's made, you're not going to want to eat it.
Yeah.
That's such a gross analogy.
Yeah, that's why I haven't taken a bite out of my kids yet. That's why I haven't taken a bite out of my kids yet. That's why I haven't taken a bite out of my kids yet.
I meant more the vagina. All right, yeah. Eating box.
Yeah, I get it. Last thing on the trip, just to kind of round this out. We're on the plane ride home. The flight attendant is, by the way, is that what you still call them? I feel like there was a situation with that, or stewardess was the issue.
No, you can't call them like a man. You can't be like sir if they're not really a sir. I don't think it's the flight attendant. You know what I mean?
I get. Well, so this guy, he was a flamboyant Asian gentleman, and the only reason I say that is because when he spilled the drink on me, because he spilled a full glass of apple juice on me, like right on my lower half, like on my lap, my stomach. I literally felt it like dripping into my taint at one point. But when it happened,
that's not a word I thought was coming.
When it happened, it was like late at night and the whole plane was quiet. He drops it and he just goes, "Oh shit!"
Like, yeah, buddy, it's my team.
So loud. So the entire plane turned around and just stared at me.
Did he offer to like dry it off for you or anything, or no?
He was offering stuff. Like, I don't know if this is a drip move or not. I was going to ask you, but my carry-on, I always have an extra t-shirt, like pair of shorts or pants, underwear, socks. So I was ready to. I was like, I looked at him. I was like, dude, I'm prepared for this. Like, I knew he was going to drop this on me. Yeah. So I went in the bathroom and then.
That is a drip move. I always carry a different pair of shoes because I like to be fashionable when I walk onto the plane, but then I prefer comfort while in the air. I don't do well.
So you'll switch them right on the plane, huh?
Yeah.
Or is it a
takeoff or the decel?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it a fear thing or is it more of like claustrophobic?
I'm a huge pussy, so yeah, it's a fear thing.
Yeah, I always think I'm not gonna be scared, and then I like that initial takeoff when you're not, like, it's almost better when you're way higher up. When you're kind of close to the ground, you're like, oh, I don't like this at all.
The wheels are probably like this big, and you're going like 1,000. I don't know. It just doesn't sit right. I've seen too many videos on YouTube too where it just goes terribly. Or Rumble partners.
Yeah, people lie if they say they don't like think about the worst possible thing happening when they're on the plane. It's like,
no, thank you.
But part of all this rolls into, we do the trip Thursday to Thursday.
Okay.
I decide to work that Friday. You and I were texting a little bit, and you had asked me, "Are you working?" When I said yes, you said that is a complete and total drip move. Can you explain what you meant by that?
1,000%. It's the last thing you want to do, because you could just take that Friday and you could roll right into the weekend. Right. And all of a sudden, it's a 10-day trip opposed to a 7-day trip. But that Monday when you get back is going to be the worst Monday of all time. You'll probably have 700 to 800 emails if you don't check it sporadically during the trip. So I always take that day if I ever do go on a trip, but you let everyone know, like, hey, I'm back just today, just to catch up. Like, give me a little bit of space. If you need anything, let me know. Then you get 8 hours just to freaking pound through some emails, do some pivot tables, do some whatever Ziggy said they're called. You can catch up on everything.
I'm being told it's pronounced some ifs. I'm probably still pronouncing it wrong, but
we'll hear about it. The feeling that Friday at 5 o'clock, whenever you wrap up your day, of like, all right, Monday's not going to be so bad. That makes the weekend worth it. Plus, you've been not trapped. Your children are lovely, and so are families. But you've been with them for like a week. You get like 8 hours to yourself. Go out to lunch that day. That's like, it's a terrible day on paper, but you can make it very impactful. So I think it was a great move.
I agree. And when I was coming home, I started to regret the move. Like, what am I doing? Like you said, I could have rolled this into a long ass vacation. But once I kind of logged in, and I did work from home that day, which makes it a lot easier. Like you said, clearing emails. Like, I would have been so incredibly screwed if I saved everything for Monday. Yeah. I did dream about going back to work my last night on vacation. That was terrible. Like, my entire purview in my dream was just an Outlook calendar, and it was all those emails. So that wasn't great.
Did you do any work? Did you do any work during the trip? None at all.
No, I thought I was going to, and then I just I didn't get
YOLO, as the kids say.
Do you, if you go away?
Yeah. I have OCD with my emails. So every morning when I wake up, doesn't matter how many there are. Like, even if I don't check it for a long period of time, if I see a number associated with the mailbox, like, how it's a mailbox, a little number, I have to clear them out. Whether I open them and close them, I won't even mark them all as red. I'll go through one by one.
Oh, you'll just scan. Yeah. It feels so good.
I feel better inside. Yeah. I feel better inside. I feel better.
Do you flag emails, like that little red flag? I love flagging an email.
I've started to flag emails, and I've started to move email. So yes, I do. And I've also started to move them to like completed folders and important folders and follow up. But sometimes they get, because I'm so used to the standard inbox, sometimes it gets lost in the shuffle and I forget to check those. So I've moved away from that a little bit.
That's my issue.
It's been a process.
I did. You know how you can make certain emails from certain people or with certain trigger words go into a separate folder to begin with? Have you done any of that?
Yes.
So
all my automated reports go into an automatic inbox.
I'll forget it exists. So that I'm only looking at my big inbox, and I'm like 2 days go by, and I'm like, oh shit! Like, I clearly didn't look. Like, I have this one manager, all their emails funnel into one folder, and I'm like, oh, clearly I haven't looked at emails from that manager in a little while.
Yeah, I only do it with like automated reports that I have to really use for like month-end close stuff. So I've been there though, and once my hyperlink got fucked up, and everything went in there, and I was so confused. I thought I got fired. It was a whole mess, but I got it all squared away.
Fucked up hyperlink will do that to you.
That way, these few options along with keyboard shortcut can help you out to flag an email in Microsoft Outlook. So if you have learned something new from this video, please like and subscribe my YouTube channel. And please don't forget to click on the bell icon so you will never miss out any Outlook tips and problem solvers videos I come up with. Thank you and have a nice day.
I wanted to talk about Sunday Scaries in general. Like, so are you, I definitely do every weekend, no matter what, even when things are going good at work, I get that moment like Sunday where I'm just like, I can't believe I have to go in again. And I don't even know what it is. I was going to ask you, like, for you, what does Sunday Scaries look like? Are you just because you don't really feel like doing it, or do you feel like you have too much work? What is it that kind of hits you before the workday or the night before the workday?
Work is the reason I'm fat. I'm down. I'm down some weight. I was down 15, but this weekend was a disaster. I'm down 13 again. But no.
Did you do a recent shave? You almost look a little bit slimmer. That wasn't a shot.
No, thank you. Thank you. Clip that, John, if you could.
No.
I don't know what to say. Thank you.
Guys
No one said
flying
that.
high right now.
I'm
Guys
trying.
flying
I'm
high.
trying. I still always have the jowls, but they're starting to go away a little bit, I think. So shout out to Hater. Sunday Scaries. We'll get back to that. Yeah, but it's Sunday night, anywhere between 8:30 and 10 o'clock. It all hits me that like, fuck, it's all we're starting this all over again on Monday. Fridays are good because you're just working to get your day done. Saturdays are great. Exactly. Then you look forward to Saturdays. You chase that. And it's wake up Sunday, we'll have breakfast, great. And then it hits you like, fuck, like we are in this. So I stress eat. I'll stress eat, not anymore as much. But yeah, that's how I used to cope. I cope with my Sunday Scaries. I used to just drink it away, but sober, no more.
Yeah, I definitely don't do. Like when I was less, I would definitely. No, I was with my wife. She wasn't my wife yet, but when I started this job, but I was still, before we like moved in and everything, I was still like at my friend's apartment all the time. We would be drinking Friday through Sunday. We'd watch Game of Thrones and then, and yeah, that was a way to, you're like, when you're hanging with your friends, you can kind of like hide it, right? Yeah. But now you're kind of, you put the kids to bed, maybe you're watching your TV show with your wife, and it's quiet, it's silent.
The silence.
Like you said, we're gonna start this all over again.
It's all over. It's all over. Yeah.
I think I start to just think about like, what are the potential things that are going to come at me this week? Like, will it be a customer issue? Is it going to be a project that's dropped on my desk? Like, I already have enough going on. What else are they going to give me? I think that's really what gets to me.
1000%. My weeks are so sporadic. Like the schedule's always so different. You never really know what you're going to get. So it's the unknown. I might wake up on Monday and have a major meeting on my calendar for Tuesday, and that's running through my head on Sunday. I've talked to Karen about this. She thinks I just need to relax, exercise, and we've worked on breathing techniques. So
there you go.
Start with your hands open. You inhale, clench, count to 10, and then exhale. And while you exhale, you release all the tension in your hands.
I think I might have just seen a little bit just float out. That might have just been my soul. So let's move on.
Karen's a bit wacky, but she knows her shit. I'll tell you that.
So with all the stress from work, every once in a while you'll get kind of a funny story from work, or maybe a story that's been passed down from generation to generation, or maybe from another company or whatever. So I know we both have a little tale we can tell. I don't know. Do you want to go first?
Sure. So
all right, go ahead.
I worked for a parking company prior to the one I work for now. Very short stint. But this happened with that company, not the current one I'm at. I stupidly ran my dishwasher before this, by the way. If you hear like a monster in the background, it's just, I don't know. It was a mistake. But it was like a Friday night. This is when I was working like as a valet manager, overseeing valet, and we were getting slammed like 200-300 cars all at once. And all of a sudden I went back into the office and I saw this kid just sitting there with his like head down. And I was like, Kevin, like, we're getting fucking killed here. Let's go. And he's like, I don't think I should be driving cars right now. I was like, uh-oh. I was like, go on. He's like, yeah, I have an iron deficiency. I was like, oh, okay. Like, okay, we're fine.
You're like, yeah, I have allergies.
1000%. We'll get into that. But he's like, yeah. So I pulled that guy's car up, and like when I was getting in it, he had iron pills in his center. Like he had a bottle of iron pills in his car. So I took one, and like, I don't think it was an iron pill. And immediately I'm like, oh my God.
Oh my dude.
He's like,
first of all, even if
it's stealing,
you're
stealing regardless. He was
fired.
Fired before the rest of the story unfolded. Like, I didn't want to break it to him. I was like, okay. I was like, why would you do that? He's like, I'll be honest with you. He's like, I've done ecstasy before, and like, I'm pretty sure that I'm on ecstasy.
No. Oh my God.
I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I'm like seeing shit, and like, I'm not doing too good. He's like, I don't think. He's like, just give me a little bit. Like, I need to like relax. I was like, no, I'm gonna give you a lifetime. Like, I'm not gonna fire you right now while you're tripping balls. But he's like, all right, I'm gonna go home. And, like, grabs his keys. I'm like, buddy, no way you're driving out of here cooked on E. Like, no way.
God.
So his mom came and picked him up. So
his mom picked him up. Oh, that's the icing on the cake right there.
Yeah, so he was high on ecstasy, which is a terrible drug. I've done it once. My God, I saw everything in picture frames. So I just started vomiting all over my chest, and my friends had to pull me out of a party. So all comes full circle.
We gotta, like, every episode, every couple episodes, I'd love to pull like small little stories from old Pat out, like
Drug
that.
stories?
Even if
Nice.
they're just very like vague little tales, just make the people want a little bit more.
Yeah, in some case, I don't know what it was. I'll go into it. He was like, "Hey, it's my birthday. We're all doing this." And it was like rocks. It was like fucking pop rocks. And I was like, "Oh, what's the word?" Picture frames as far as the eye can see. I'm like, "Oh, this is," so I was puking everywhere. My buddies carried me out. We sat in the car for 12 hours and listened to Summer Hits of the 90s Pandora, and that mellowed me out like you read
Set
about.
you
But
right.
whenever we started moving, I would puke again. So I was like, we have to stay here. So we stayed there till like noon the next day. I wouldn't recommend it.
No, I think those days are probably long gone for me as well.
Me too.
We had this guy. This is allegedly, by the way.
Okay.
Maybe I was there, maybe I wasn't. Who knows? So we do some troubleshooting. I think I've mentioned that before. So you can get a device. You know, it could be, in this scenario it was CPAP, but like I said, we do other stuff as well. So this guy had. Exactly. This guy kept calling in and saying like, "Oh, my machine's not working. It's not blowing a lot of air, or it's starting to turn off." He said it sounded exactly like that.
Sorry. All done. Cycle's over. Sorry.
I love how it sounded like you were just slapping it, by the way.
Turn it off.
So you can kind of look at the file and say like, "Oh, you haven't replaced," because you got to replace your parts pretty regularly for it to continue to work. Like, well, you haven't replaced a lot of your parts, especially a filter. Like, they're in a CPAP device. There's a filter that you want to replace because that's collecting, like, you might get anything like dust, dirt, dander, whatever, like pet dander, whatever, can clog it up. And there's a motor in there that's trying to run. So if you're clogging up the filter, obviously that motor can't run. So he's like, "No, I haven't changed the filter in a while. I was actually wondering how to do that." So we're like, "Okay, it's very simple. And we do show you when you get it, but whatever, I get it." So we said, "Why don't you come into the office and we'll take a look at your machine?" Again, allegedly, this guy comes in. There's like a little, we call it a filter door. The filter sits on like a little plastic casing. We pull the plastic casing out to look at the filter, and this guy has the butt of a cigarette filter sitting in like the plastic casing. So people over the years have gone back and forth on whether he was using the cigarette filter as a filter, and some people say was he trying to smoke through his, like, put it in, turn the machine on, put the mask on, and just inhale
fishbowl and that shit. All right.
But yeah, opening that up and seeing a cigarette in a breathing machine like, that's the irony of it too. Like, it's to sleep to breathe at night.
Might be why he's using it.
There. Just absolutely unbelievable. So we'll transition here into, I think we'll do a quick little, dad life, family life stuff, and then we'll get into some KMS. If you're not bored enough already, which I don't know how that would be possible, we do have a nice, boring, calm, and satisfying video, courtesy of the one and only Gig for you now.
Wow.
Pat, as I said on the trip, and even just lately in general, 2 kids is like, people always ask. Like I have, I've said a million times, but now 3. He just turned 3 and a 10-month-old. That's obviously pretty close in age, both very young. So people are always asking, like, how is it with them that young? How do they do?
Congratulations on the sex, by the way.
Yes, twice. Thank you.
That's pretty cool.
For a long time, I was like, it's fine. That we're lucky that they're so well behaved. It's unraveling, Pat. 2 kids is becoming a lot, dude. And like, are you prepared? Because this is going to be your life very, very soon.
Nope. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. So this whole segment here is going to be a real reality check for me. If I just pass out, keep going.
Well, it's just if they're both having the meltdown at the same time, it just, to me, like, the word is exhausting. Like it just wears you down. I mean, obviously they're the best things in the world. We, put that aside.
Whisper that. That's the one part. Like, they're really good kids.
It's okay. Yeah. But no, I was just kind of getting like your take on, because you're probably only 4 or so months away, whatever it is. Like, have you, like, where are you at? What are you thinking?
I'm trying to figure out game plans, like strategies, because my kid has a personality. Does he still hate you? Did he tell you that?
There's been some stories. I've picked some things up.
Oh no, he's just like, he's a lot like me, so he's very devious, I think is the proper word. No, but he's very smart, and I know what we're trying to train him on like being a big brother, and like I'm trying to figure out how early we can get him babysitting and stuff like that. But no, I'm trying to kind of map out. I think the thing for us is the earlier we set up her room, the earlier we set up everything, we'll have a more fine-tuned reality check on what's really coming our way. But no, that's my biggest fear, when they're both spazzing on me.
Right.
Like my fear with, and you've probably ran into this, he's 3. When I tell him inside voices at the restaurant, he doesn't listen. So when she's trying to sleep, he's not going to fucking stop. He doesn't care like that. Then it's just going to be an never
ending.
Never ending.
Yeah.
Damn it! Why do I always do this? But yeah, I'm shitting bricks. I'm very excited for it. It'll be 1 and 1 and done, so that'll be good. I don't know how these people do it, like 5 or 6 of these little rugrats, but no, we're hoping for the best. He just started daycare, so like I said a couple of shows ago, I'm hoping that somebody there takes him under their wing, like kind of like tells them the rights and wrongs of brotherhood or sisterhood. I don't think that's going to happen. So yeah, we're hoping for the best, but we know what's coming down the road here, and it's going to be very exciting. It'll be a blessing. It'll be everything we've ever asked for. Boy, girl, great.
Right.
But I'm going to get my fucking ass kicked.
Yeah, you actually explained it a little bit better than what I was trying to say. Is like, at 3 is definitely that age where it's like a defiance thing, where you had the perfect example. You're in the restaurant. Hey, buddy, can you be quiet? He's going to go a little bit louder. So to bring that into the 2 kid scenario, what we deal with, and it just happened tonight, is the younger one is most likely going to go to bed first, right? So we're trying to put my 10-month-old to sleep, and my older one is being loud. He's playing. You can hear the pitter patter of his feet when he's running around the house. You're like, hey, buddy, your brother's trying to sleep. You could quiet it down. Boom, louder.
Oh, jeez.
And then if he cries, the younger one is like, oh, my older brother's crying. I'm gonna cry now. And then you and your wife are just sitting there looking at each other like, oh, like we're just gonna have to sit this one through.
Yeah, I've already lost control. There's like 2 dogs. One of them's probably eating a bunch of toys right now. The other one's probably shitting in the corner. It's like their thing. I got 2 cats, 6 fish, priorly 10.
That's a full
previously
house.
10. So I mean, we're used to chaos, but it'll be exciting. And then I'm gonna get this shit snipped the day after. I'll tell you that. I'm heading right back. But I'm assuming you haven't. So I told someone that joke. It was actually one of like the higher ups of my company who was asking me about it. He's like,
snip?
oh, yeah.
It's not a joke though, is it?
No. Well, it's not a joke. Like I'm legitimately getting. We're done. it's nothing against either of the child we have or the one we're welcoming into the world, but choose enough. He was telling me, he's like, oh yeah, I did it. He's like, yeah, you know what it is? They put your legs up in the stirrups, and then all you could smell is your burning scrotum. I'm like, what?
Holy shit.
Oh yeah, he's like, they don't put you to sleep. He says he just sees them like pulling shit out of there. I was like,
no, I'm not looking at anything.
No, I don't know what I'm gonna do in that regard, because I don't.
You're not gonna be able to handle that.
I thought they knocked you out. Like, I'm getting like really like uncomfortable like thinking about it again.
Oh, that's not, if that's true, that's not good. I wouldn't know what to do. You'd have to be like, you have to give me a tablet like my kid.
Yeah, I asked somebody else too. He's like, "Oh yeah, I could, the burning scrotum, because that's what it is. They don't like snip. I guess it's like they just burn
the burning scrotum. Wow.
Oh, yeah, no, it's so bad. So, but I mean, it'll be worth it in the long run, I guess. But I don't want to be like Michael Scott, snip, snap, snip, snap.
Yeah. When I started this segment, I was like, oh, I want to talk about how it's difficult, but I want to be comforting, and then I don't think I got to the comforting part at all.
Yo, I feel the worst. Yeah, but I get what you were doing. It wasn't purposeful, and you called me thin a little while ago, so we're all set.
That heals all. I don't. Do you do this? No matter what, if my wife goes out to dinner or whatever, she's out with her friends, or even she's done even like a weekend away with her friends. They went up to Portland. I never express when things are going haywire at the house. Like, hey, how's it going? The kid, like, one of them could be jumping on my head. Like, the house could be on fire. I'm like, everything's going good over here, because I don't want her to have that like panic or like think things aren't under control. On the other end of the spectrum, I do think sometimes when I'm out, I'll get the text, hey, he won't go to bed. Hey,
I would like for it to be reciprocated. Yeah,
exactly.
But you have to be very careful in doing that, because if you're over the top, and it's like he's being like, he's never been better. Like, he's the best kid, this, that, and the other thing. Every once in a while, you might get like, behaves for you, doesn't behave for me. Like, I just don't get it. It's like, yeah, no, that wasn't what I was doing. He just took a poop on the floor. Like, is that what you wanted to hear? Like, is that better? But yeah, no, you never really want to go into it, because then they worry, and then you're trying to comfort them about the situation that you're dealing with, while you're also trying to comfort the child who's not trying to comfort you. So It's a thin line. But no, I know that feeling all too well. We have a temperature right now. He's not feeling too good. And tonight was peaches. We were great. We had chicken nuggets for dinner, all that. He didn't eat a single chicken nugget. But
how does he eat normally?
Pretty good. He learned how to jerry-rig the pantry, so he can get into like the snacks. And like, I put the snacks up high, and he moved all the boxes underneath, like the storage boxes, and he climbs up and gets the snacks and climbs down.
So funny.
So, yeah. How about you? Do they eat all right?
The younger one, yeah, he's an absolute tank.
Oh, that before you mix in solids, you really only give them one option. That's when it's, because you're probably in like the puree stage.
He like blew past it. I'm telling, this kid is gigantic. Like, the doctor's like,
yeah.
there's something wrong with your kid. He's huge.
What a prick.
My 3-year-old, he's a string bean, and he's a tough eater. Like, he just doesn't, he like nibbles on a couple things, but I think I was like that. So
yeah, I used to like eat chips for dinner and stuff, and he's taken after me in that regard. But if we put it in front of him for long enough, he'll eat. So it's baby steps, literally.
All right, I guess we can move on to our final segment here. So there's a couple different ways we can go. Let me lay out a couple scenarios, and then you just jump on something. Does that sound all right?
Love it.
We've got, so what I'm doing here is anything, I'm probably going to miss something, but anything that I thought jumped out since your show with Mike. So anything that you guys wouldn't have been able to talk about from that point on. You guys recorded Tuesday of last week, I think.
Monday of last week. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday.
Okay. So then you had the Mike and Mutt show, the unnamed show. I know you liked Mick's surprise show.
Loved it. Oh my God. He's a specimen.
We had the Leeches. Obviously, we had today's Cully and Mike show, and then the Kane and Fuss stuff. Do you want to start with any of those?
Yeah, we'll start. I'm in a difficult spot. You're in a difficult spot, because we had freaking lunch with the guy, right? We had a nice meal. we chatted, fantasy baseball, all that. Mutt's taking some heat right now. And as a Kimp, my loyalty is to Kirk. So obviously the higher Mutt hashtag will have to subside until that order is taken away. But I guess I'll jump to the leeches, who I like. I like Tom. I like Alice. I'm trying to find a way to say this without being rude. Those two giving Mutt career advice and saying that he doesn't want to. I'm going to talk about all this tomorrow when I'm in with the porn man.
That's on my list as well.
Yep. Them saying like this, that, and the other thing. That's like a fucking crackhead being like, "Hey, like, you know what's not good for you. You know what you should really stay away from. Let me tell you, it's crack. Like, stay in your lane." I get. Everybody wants to make their judgments. All that. I'm very nervous about what to say here, as you can tell.
I thought as far as the leeches go, I enjoyed their breakdown of the Mick and Al episode because they spent the most time on that, and they played a lot of sound, and they went segment by segment. I thought they had some funny, like I'm terrible at, in this world, telling when someone's doing like a bit or if they're being sarcastic or not. Like I can never tell when someone's doing that. So part of it, if they were sort of being sarcastic or just floating crazy theories out there, I thought it was pretty good. But they did.
I don't think there's much sarcasm from those two.
No, maybe not. It was for me, I thought that was a pretty good show because they do a good job of playing sound and they play it in the right manner. Like they'll be having a conversation, boom, they pull up the sound and then kind of talk about it. So that's something that they do well. It kind of helps the show flow a little bit. I thought the Mike and Mutt show, we'll go back and then we'll talk a little Mike and Cully, but Mike and Mutt show, one thing I can say is Mutt brought up the drip episode at least 3 times. So hello Mutt. Hello Mutt.
Shout out.
And so it was
somebody
tough,
somebody who Mutt, who said that he would join our program at some point in the future when we ask him to. And then Coleman went on today, and I'm talking about this tomorrow. And Coleman said today, like, oh, he's too good for the network. He was too good for Menners, and everyone's too good for Menners.
Right.
Okay. Like, there's a difference.
Except Fuss and Kane.
I like Fuss.
I like Fuss too. And he was
great.
We bumped into, was it me and you were walking down the street in Portland?
Yeah. Him and Bob.
I
like Bob chilling too.
Great
no, I wish Fuss all the success in the world. He's a super guy. After Kane tried to slander you on Mike and the Minifans for some clout, I'm all set. So I hope half of that show does really well, and I hope the other half of it toilets. So
I still have, I have no animosity towards Kane at all. He's all right.
I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Mutt's Eclipse story. I was laughing the entire time.
E for Vermont. E for Vermont. I stopped walking. I was on my lunch walk, and I just stopped. I was like, that didn't just happen. But
there was a moment where Kirk's calling him out for missing the first 10 minutes or whatever, and Mutt so like sheepishly and like sadly, if that's a word, goes, "Well, I listened to it on the radio."
You can tell he was scared. He's like, I'll be honest with you. Like, I was swearing at my wife under my breath. Like, I'm not afraid to admit it. Yeah, no shit.
And then they were totally like joking when they're like, what were you up there having beers? And I definitely like thought that was just like a side comment, like joking. He's like, yeah, actually I was. People were tailgating.
It's like, but I wasn't the worst. You should have seen some of the people up there. Yeah, that Eclipse shit. I meant to talk about it last night. If you like it, great. It's literally like a fucking hour that you'll never get back, and like you're risking staring at it. No, you gotta put those stupid glasses. I think it's a whole Ponzi scheme to sell more glasses. I'll let Montante and E get into that one, but
they were selling out left and right. True. But then it rolled into. So that rolls into the Unnamed show, right? Mm-hmm. Where Kirk, you have to give Kirk so much credit, and I think this is what's so frustrating to Kirk as far as the Mutt to Barstool thing is. He's on with Dave Portnoy and Whitney. It's a gigantic podcast. It's an absolute monster show that has a ton of eyeballs on it. And the first thing Kirk does is bring up Mutt, and they spend a good couple minutes on it, saying
like
Mutt's name over and over.
1,000 people watching live at one point.
Yeah, and dude, name recognition means a lot, I think. So for Kirk to go out of his way, like not even just a side text or like a DM being like, hey, you should think about this Mutt guy, but he says it live, like not pre-show, like I said, not text, live on the show. It turns into a topic. You've got Wit chiming in from the side going, Mutt's a great guy. I think Mutt would fit in. So kudos to Kirk for doing that. Definitely. Now, Mutt's a friend, so I'll try to defend him here.
Careful.
All I'll say is this. If the guy doesn't want the job, the guy doesn't want the job. Like you can't force him to do it. So I get that's me trying to see both sides. I think it's the opportunity of a lifetime. Yeah. And I totally get that where Mutt's like, well, Portnoy's not just gonna hire me. Like, what am I gonna do there? And even Portnoy was saying it, like, there's not a huge need for a horse racing guy. You still take that name recognition and the like the whatever, like anything from Kirk, you roll that momentum into something. Like you could roll that momentum into something. So if he doesn't want it, he doesn't want it. But if he thinks it's not feasible and that's why he's backing away, that's not a good move, in my opinion.
Yeah, I 1,000% understand Kirk's frustration, and I don't blame him because he's like, he has brought him up multiple times, gone out of his way, let off the biggest, whatever, probably the most viewed show Barstool has at this point with it. Obviously, like you said, if he doesn't want to do it, he doesn't want to do it. But like, and I use Hannah Cook and I use Caroline as like my two baseline examples, and everybody's like, oh, they're bottom of the barrel. Like, great, they're bottom of the barrel. They're probably making 80 grand. Hannah Cook's probably making above 100 grand because she's been there for a while, whatever. The Hannah Cook hasn't put anything out in 9 months, right? So like, and I'm not talking money about what you pay Mutt or anything like that, but you could pay Mutt like a competitive salary. Dave pays guys just to blog. Mm-hmm. Like he pays them strictly to blog. Like that's what that Take guy, who's the most annoying person in the world on Twitter, by the way.
Take the Mutt sack, try to do it 3 times a week and call it a blog. And do video stuff and do gambling stuff.
And even try be like, Dave, there's nothing for horse racing. It might not work, but like, let me just give it a shot with Elio for a couple times. There's going to be businesses within the sports betting industry, I'm assuming, I don't really know how that works, that are like, yeah, I'll throw you a little bit of money to say our name on a Barstool Sports podcast as a sponsor. And you can make your money back that way. Maybe you lose money on it, but Dave loses money on probably 75% of the employees that he has there. Except for Clemmer, he's losing his fucking mind, that guy. He's tweaked. But no, like for Kirk being frustrated and all that, I'm with him. I totally get it. And I love Mutt. I'm a huge Mutt guy. I just wish that he would be like, all right, I'm going to give it a shot. But if he doesn't want to do it, he doesn't want to do it, I guess. But it's just got
and if he's really worried that it would ruin his relationship with Kirk, like that, maybe that's something that he's thinking about too. So again, I can totally, I mean, I'm middleman John. Like I always see both sides. Unfortunately, I'm such a pussy when it comes to
shit
that.
Here.
But I told like Kirk stuck his neck out there for him. Yep. He's clearly trying to help the guy out. But then on Mutt's side again, like whether it be not being, I don't want to say not motivated because I feel like he wants to do something, but if he doesn't want it, there's only so much you can do. So, so you're in studio tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So today's Monday, so by the time this comes out, you would have been.
Yeah, that's why I feel I would usually. But yeah, I'll say all this stuff on the show. But yeah, I'm in with Porn Guy tomorrow. I don't know. He seems like a real character.
Yeah,
I shouldn't call him Porn Guy. I don't know him yet. You follow on Twitter. Nice.
He's Porn Guy. What do you mean? Like that's he's not hiding from it.
Yeah, there's a few things I noticed about him. He hates Snell. He doesn't like Lucy. He likes boobs.
Yeah, that captures a good portion of America right there. Why don't you? Because I just wanted you to riff on this a little bit at the. I don't know if it was like the middle or the end of the show today with Cullinane. Or actually, before I get to this, I was going to bring up the allergy stuff. But do you have any other? What are your Cullinane takeaways from today? He's born for infomercials. He reminds me of like the ShamWow guy or whatever it was.
He's like Mutt, but like the version where he's like, yeah, I'll do a stupid ad walking out of my house for $150. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, he's Mutt, but like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll do whatever. Like, he was born. Kirk says it before. He is born for chicks in the office. I love Dave. There's something about him.
When
He's
he was saying gig economy, I like slammed
Gig
my
economy.
desk. I just didn't like it because I'm slaving away at the office.
I saw you in the chat, not happy.
I'll just take a gig here and there, you know. It takes 2 minutes out of my day. They pay me $300. I'm sitting here fucking typing emails.
Not a bad model. Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah. So
let's unpack it.
Speaking of Cullinane, that he has a story where he goes to. I'm actually already forgetting where he brought the kids. It was like Lego.
I could go. Dave was mind boggled that anyone in this world would be allergic to both eggs and peanuts, and he's like, my kid's allergic to both eggs and peanuts. He almost made it seem like it's super abnormal. Let me be very clear. There are a lot of people in this world who are allergic to eggs, cheese, milk, peanuts, tree nuts, grass, cats, dogs, pollen, anything airborne.
Talk to him.
And for a little bit,
grass.
Grass, yeah. But that one, like a lot, that one's actually one of the more common allergies, actually. Like a lot of people are allergic to grass, but you get so accustomed to it just being or surrounded by it all the time. My dad's a landscaper, he's allergic to grass. But yeah, I fall under all of those things. My parents didn't have it easy growing up in that regard. I still ask if I go to a restaurant, hey, do you cook with peanut oil?
So when he was like, oh, my kids didn't eat, I didn't know what to feed them because they have allergies. Were you triggered?
Yeah, because my mother did a damn good job putting, a fucking plain old meatloaf in front of me growing up, and I gobbled that.
There you go. You put ketchup on your meatloaf?
Yeah, I put ketchup on everything. That's about all I have. Like, that was one of the only things I wasn't allergic to growing up.
That's all I have.
Kids are like eating mac and cheese, and I'm just kind of like sitting in the corner, like, I wonder what that's like.
Just sucking on a ketchup packet.
But Dave needs to figure out the severity of these allergies. He needs to get these kids like legitimately allergy tested. And like when I got allergy tested, they basically take a little bit. I'm sure a lot of people have done it. They take whatever it is. So like they take a little bit of egg, they prick your arm. If it swells up or hives up, you're allergic. They did it for nuts with me, and I went into like full anaphylactic shock. So they're like, all right, you got a real freak show on your hands here, Dan and Linda. Like they were like, yeah, this kid's fucked. So I could never do allergy shots for nuts, but I did it for eggs, cheese. I did 3 a week.
Wow, dude.
For 13 years.
You were the bubble boy. I think I've said that to you before.
Yeah. No, yeah. I was the kid that sat alone at like the peanut free table in like elementary school. And like every once in a while somebody would
be mean. I hated those kids.
Well, that's the thing. Every once in a while somebody comes sit with me and like have a conversation, and like you could tell like I was always not like smart, but I knew what was going on. They come over and be like, what are you have for lunch? And, like you look over their shoulder and like 10 kids are at the table, like laughing, like, I just gotta go talk to the freak. And I grew up with that then.
Just give them get hives to prove them wrong.
I thought I heard a baby cry. I had to shit my pants. Yeah, Dave's got to get those kids allergy tested. He needs to figure out the right treatment method. And by the time they're like 15, 16, 20, they might not be allergic to these things anymore, and they can live a real, a normal life. But it's up to him at this point. No one else.
Well, I think he just needs to look inward then. So listen, folks, we just gave you a 52-minute show. You're welcome. I know it. All right, boys. We'll see you next week. Pat, thank you very much.
See ya.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited about that one.
What's up? Good job.
I enjoyed that.
That was a good one.